Hey, Bayek, it's me, and in today's video, I'm going to look at this. This is Seance on a Wet Afternoon from 1964. And this is a film that Tony sent me. Again, it's an amazing film, this. I just can't believe it. It's also a network title, so it is getting quite difficult to get hold of it. You still get hold of it, but it's going to become very scarce. Anyhow, let me get on to this film. It's 115 minutes long, 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's described as a British thriller, and it received a lot of praise from the critics and film fans, but it wasn't really a massive box office success, far from it. But the leading actress, Kim Stanley, she was up for an Academy Award. Yes, her performance is outstanding, and she was up, nominated for an award at the Oscars. Wow. So it's a screenplay written by Brian Forbes. Again, we've mentioned Brian Forbes quite a bit. It's based on a novel, Seance on a Wet Afternoon, by Mark McShane. And of course, the screenplay was by Brian Forbes, but it was also directed by Brian Forbes. And also, I'll just say it was produced by Brian Forbes and Richard Attenborough in their company Allied Film. They, unfortunately, I think they only did 4 films together and with this company. Sadly, they didn't carry on. But it produced some great films in its short time, and it's excellent, really. Sorry, the name is actually Allied Film Marvels. Yes, Marvels, nothing to do with the Marvels. Anyway, we won't better go on to that. So, of course, Brian Forbes not only was been an actor, but of course his films he directed, of course, which we've mentioned before, but there's Whistle Down the Wind from 1961, King Rat 1965, and The Stepford Wives. That is one of his major films, 1975. So let me just go into the cast. Kim Stanley. Oh, wow. Kim Stanley, she plays Myra Savage. What a performance. We learn in the extras she was at times very intense, quite difficult sometimes to work with, to get, because she came from this, at the time it was quite a new thing, the method acting American thing, which was coming over because she was an American actress, and she had that with her. But the performance is outstanding, and Richard Attenborough has said, he did say that he'd never seen anything like this. They chose exactly the right person to do this, because apparently it had been offered to Deborah Kerr, Simone Signoret. They had turned it down, but she didn't. Her filmography is not massive at all. She was very much a theatre and TV actress. She was in The Goddess, 1958. Then she was in 1966, The Three Sisters. Then she was in a film which was quite a big commercial success, as I remember. I actually remember seeing this at the cinema, which was Frances, with Jessica Lange starring about the. Well, it's about mental illness in many ways, and stardom, and that's from 1982. And also, she was in another quite popular film at the time, 1983, was in The Right Stuff, which was about the early tests for the astronauts, test pilots, and all that kind of stuff. Very interesting film. Anyway, she was in that. Then let's, of course, talk about Richard Attenborough. Wow, he is amazing in this film. He plays her husband, and wow, this is one of his great performances of many that we've seen. This, in many ways, equals his performance, I think, in 10 Rillington Place. But, it goes, as I say, his pedigree as an actor. 1948, we talk about the Brighton Rock. We talk about the League of Gentlemen, which we just reviewed recently. That's from 1960. And of course, who can ever forget him in The Great Escape? But 10 Rillington Place from 1971, amazing film. And of course, there's a director, Young Winston from 1972, The Gandhi from 1982. Sorry, I said Young Winston, 1972, Young Winston. Gandhi, 1982. Gandhi is like a throwback in many ways to David Lean era of epic films. It's a fantastic film. And also, remember Cry Freedom by Steve Biko. That was in 1987. And of course, I have to always mention Shadowlands, 1993. Yes, he directed those. And then we've got in the cast Nanette Newman. Again, we've seen her before because she's married, in fact, to Brian Forbes, she was. And she plays Mrs. Clayton. She was in The League of Gentlemen. And of course, the important film, The Stepford Wives, which Brian Forbes directed. That's from 1975. What a film that is. And she's involved in that. She was involved in a lot of other film, TV, theatre, the usual thing. Great actress in what she did. And then we've got Mark Eden from Charles Clayton. He plays her husband of the kidnapped child. He was in The L-Shaped Room. He was in Curse of the Crimson Altar, from 1968, which had Christopher Lee, Boris Karloff, and was a Tygon film. Yeah. Now, I didn't know this because I'm not really into it. My mum would have known this. Oh, my mum would have absolutely loved this. He was in Coronation Street as a villain in Coronation Street. Somebody called Mark Bradley said, I didn't follow it, but apparently he was a very popular villain. I think he's linked with the famous death on Blackpool front, getting killed by a tram, I think. Something like that. I've seen that mentioned before. But for me, of course, there's always got to be some link somewhere. And I found one, a Doctor Who link. He was in An Adventure in Space and Time from 2013, which was the special. Starred David Bradley as the first Doctor. And we got how Doctor Who came about. It was a brilliant play for, I think, about an hour. Absolutely wonderful. And he was in that. So, hey, you can't go further than that. Then there's another lovely surprise of actors and cult actors that we really love. Patrick McGee. He pops up as Superintendent Walsh. Yes, Superintendent Walsh. More in a very, he's not a big part, but he's important at the end. He pops up. You just recognise him. What an actor he is. He's in everything. And what an actor. Anyhow, this was filmed at Pinewood Studios. And And there's a lot of London location work. And because they're working on a low budget, they just went out and filmed, which was a great thing to do. It works well in the film. So they filmed, like Trafalgar Square, some London Underground stations, and also a derelict area in Staines, which was a Staines Greyhound Stadium, and that is effective as well in the film. Fantastic, really. I love that at the time that people, when you're on a low budget, you've got to come up with all sorts, and that's it. They just went out and did it. Fantastic. So, what is the plot? Really, it involves mentally unstable medium, but the reasons why she is like this becomes quite clear. A son died when she was giving birth, and that has had a profound effect on both of them, her husband as well. And what she decides is that she has this plan where her husband goes, kidnaps a child of this wealthy family, and then she helps the police, because they've kidnapped him, solve the crime. Who's done it? And if she does that as a medium, she'll get recognition. Yes, she'll be hailed as a success, and that's her plan. You think, well, why? But her husband is kind of in this marriage, and it's clear that he really loves his wife, and he'll do anything for her, and he goes along with the plan. He's had bad illness himself, and he's not working, but he goes along with this plan, and it all begins to unfold in a certain way as it goes on, and it's brilliantly filmed. There's this creepy kind of atmosphere. Like, you get it when there's these seances going on. It's amazing. That's as much down to the direction, the lighting, and the acting. Everything about this film is just wonderful, and the ending is kind of sad as well. It really is. But the performances of Kim Stanley. Kim Stanley, I can't talk enough about her. She is outstanding. Her performance is just amazing. It really is. And I think that's it, really. The film covers those themes of tragedy, loss, and about effects on a marriage, which this devastating effect obviously has the death of a child at birth. Amazing. It is such an amazing. And to say the mental illness, we see all that in this film. But it's all put together so well in a great, gripping story, full of atmosphere, brilliant. And here is the DVD. There it is, and it's on network, as I mentioned. And the nice extras. It's a brilliant interview with Bram Forbes, who sadly he's no longer with us, but they got an interview with him, and he talks a lot about this film. Brilliant. And there's the disc on the DVD. Fantastic. And that's it, really. Thank you, Tony. Tony, you've done it again. You just send me these brilliant films, which I'm so fascinated and love. I love the whole thing about these films as part of our history. And they're great films. You think, why don't we know about these films? Well, I do now, and hopefully other people, if they watch my videos, will know. And Tony, you've got a fantastic knowledge about these films. It's great. Anyhow, but thank you anyhow. So, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then we'll let you know when I produce these videos. And also have a look at what else I've put out on all that I've done on the channel. Yeah, have a look and see what you think. Try it, you might not like it, or you might not. But if you like this video, please give it a like. Else with algorithms, so other people can enjoy, hopefully, or not enjoy, I don't know. But it all costs notes, and there you are. You can't say fairer than that, can you? And also, if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I absolutely love to read your comments. Fantastic, really. I think that's it, really. Yes, that's it. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.